Hello, hey there. I hope you're doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me here on this short Bold and Raw Talks. And I hope that you are doing well. I welcome you here in the next few minutes to talk about this topic here about anger issues. And if you're going to be watching for the first time, please don't forget to like and follow this Facebook page. And you can always watch a repeat of this video and many other videos done by me on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe too. Anger. That's the topic that I'm making and doing today. And please find time to share this video. Even before I talk about the signs that you have anger issues, I just want to keep on emphasizing that anger kills. Anger can put you in jail. Anger can cost your life, your money, your properties. Anger is a monster. And anger doesn't care who you are, whether you're a man or a woman, educated or not educated, good looking or not good looking, famous or not famous. Anger is anger. It's just one of the emotions that we have in our lives. And that's why I want you to share this video. And by the end of this video, I hope you're going to begin to realize whether you have anger issues and what you need to do to deal with them. When you look at me and when you also watch some of my videos or even the pictures that I share on my social media platforms, I want to believe your first impression is Benjamin is a very cool guy. He's cool, calm and collected. He doesn't look like somebody who has anger issues or somebody who gets annoyed easily. Maybe that's the perception you have about me. But at least if I remember my short story, over 15 years ago, I was struggling with anger issues. And I come from a community from my country, Kenya, that is notoriously known to have people who have anger issues and very short-tempered. Both the men and the women from my community are known in my country to struggle with managing their anger. And when I do my shows, hosting people or even talking the way I'm talking, sometimes people question and even begin doubting, is Benjamin from that community that we know that have anger issues? The way he's handling his guests and the comments and the way he's carrying out himself on social media. Yes, sometimes we will get annoyed. The truth is, anger is part of life. People will annoy you. The government will annoy you. Your spouse will annoy you. Your children, your pet if you like pets. People on social media will annoy you. Some comments, some posts, some messages in inbox. Because we're human beings, we can read, we can see when people are doing things that annoy us. It's part and parcel of life. But we have two groups of people who try to deal with their anger when they are annoyed. There is one group who have understood that anger can be managed. You don't need to shout and scream and kick and curse and blame to get their attention or to solve the issue that you are seeing is affecting you. But we also have a group that has to do all the bad things that comes with anger. And that's why I'm making this video today. And I want you to share this video widely. Your son who is growing, if you're a parent, or you are a parent who has a daughter, some of your children will grow up with anger issues and it can affect them. In fact, what I want to remind you as you're listening to me, anger, if it's not controlled, can affect your health, your mental stability, and even your personal and other people's relationship in your life. Anger can cost you a job, can cost you your life. So if your son is growing and his anger and tantrums are not managed as he's getting older, then his life will become more difficult. Because when you have anger and then you affect other people because you are angry, you will lose those people, or you can be arrested. You can go to jail. Legal judgments can be pressed against you, and you can be locked up in jail because you can't control your anger. And that's why I'm making this video. Even though you're not a parent, you're just a man or a woman who is just watching me for the first time, I want you to listen to this. Now, I want to dig into the signs, some of the signs that can actually tell you you have anger issues. And please continue sharing the videos. If you're watching on Facebook, you can buy me the stars. The first sign that you know you are struggling with anger is this. You scream and shout and do very bad negative things. Screaming, shouting, and breaking things. If you've ever broken a phone, a laptop, breaking TV, breaking things, abusing people on social media or outside social media, in inbox or on comments. If you even abuse animals, there's a dog just passing by, you say very nasty things about that dog. Animals, if you drive, if you're capable of driving, the way you drive and how you treat other drivers on a public road, what words come from your mouth when you're driving, because people who drive, if you own a car and you're driving can really prove how you have anger issues. Actually, in the driving courses, if you take a driving course, there's a course about aggressive driving. People are very aggressive. If you are in front of them and you take too long, and by too long, I mean you take more than 3 seconds before going, they will start hooting and asking you, why are you in front of me for more than 3 seconds? So one of the signs to know that you are struggling with anger issues is you have temper tantrums. And sometimes you will shake. I don't know if you have met a man or a woman who is very angry and they're shaking when they are speaking or talking, shaking. And even sometimes, if you really have a lot of anger, you will feel the pain, some chest pains. Sometimes I see very funny posts on Facebook about people saying that this post is going to make you have chest pains because they know that the post is going to annoy you. If you have these chest pains when you want to express your feelings and you can't even breathe normally, breathing so fast before talking and expressing what is going on between you and the people or you and the animal, then you are struggling with anger. And that's why I'm making this video for you today. The second sign to look out for that you are actually dealing with anger issues is this. You get easily annoyed and irritated. Easily annoyed. And by easily, I mean there are so many petty things in the world, beginning with the news and social media, that can easily annoy you. Social media can easily annoy you. You wake up in the morning, you see somebody has posted something just to create attention, and reading the post, like sometimes I post on my Facebook page to begin a conversation. Then you read the post. I receive messages, of course, when I post something. When I was doing so many videos about dating a married man, and I was focusing on that aspect of a woman dating a married man, that she knows there are women who are dating married men who are very annoyed with me. Some of them came to my inbox. Others told me, I'm going to unfollow you. You have lost content. You don't know what you're doing these days. These days you're talking about women who are dating married men. You don't know our story of dating married men. But you see, to me that was petty. It couldn't annoy me. But when petty things, small things annoy you, and you easily get irritated when you're talking with someone. If you're a man, you're talking with your woman, and you easily get annoyed with what they are saying and their words. Please continue sharing this video. If you're just joining, click the share button. When you easily get annoyed and you can't control your emotions, then you're dealing with anger issues. You're a very angry man, you're an angry woman. And things will annoy you. People will annoy you. That's a fact of life. Some news, some posts on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, status stories will annoy you. That's life. The way people talk to you, the way people treat you, the way people at work, your family members, some of your friends, they will always annoy you. But if you can't control this anger when they are annoying you, then you have issues that you need to solve. And some of the techniques that for me personally I have learned on how to deal with, because some of the things that used to annoy me, they were so petty. There's something that I've shared in my podcasts. One day I bought a basketball. And then I left it outside the apartment where I was staying. So I went to work. In the evening when I came back, I found the ball had no air. Then my neighbor told me that ball, the kids of my other neighbor were playing with the ball, and obviously the ball got a puncture and lost air. And I remember very well, more than 10 years, more than 15 years ago, I think, I was very annoyed because I wanted to go and play basketball after work. Having gotten that specific ball as a gift, and then I found the ball was not with air. The first thing I did was to scream and shout towards those children. I like using this example because I look back in the years, the way I shouted and the names, the words that came from my mouth towards those children. Why they picked my ball and ended up messing with the ball. Sometimes I regret up to now. I called them very nasty words that I wouldn't wish to share those words here on social media. That was more than 15 years ago. And with anger comes with words and actions. That your words, when you're very annoyed, can be so bad, so demeaning. If you find yourself regretting the words you used to the other person, you have anger issues. If when you wake up in the morning and then you feel, wow, what I told her, what I told him, it is so sad, then you're the person I'm talking about. If you ever regret what you are saying and what you did to that person because you are annoyed, you have anger issues. And some of the techniques that I've learned over the years on how to deal with anger because of getting easily annoyed is to stop talking. Sometimes you need just to stop talking and allow the other person talk. Let the other person talk. When two people are talking at the same time, nothing is happening. It's noise. If a man and a woman, both of them are talking at the same time, and I want to challenge you, if you're listening to me, if you really want to deal with anger issues in your life, when you are talking loudly and the other person is talking, nothing is being solved. The emotions are rising. The temperatures are going up. If you have a gun, the next thing you're thinking about is shooting this guy. If you have a knife, the next thing you're thinking about is how to stab this man. Because when you're talking, you're not listening. If you watch some of my videos, some people say, wow, Benjamin is a good listener. It's a technique that you learn. If you want to be a good listener, you just close your mouth. Whether you're listening to what he's saying or not, but so long as you're not talking, then you're controlling the situation. Just keep quiet. Let this person talk. And people who talk less always win arguments. Because when they are quiet, They're just listening to you, how you're making your stories, how you are making so many blunders, how you have no facts. You're just opening your mouth to create attention. But at that time, they are listening to you and to see what they can do to you. Check your body language. When you are annoyed, some of the things I've learned, if a partner or a spouse annoys you, avoid being in the kitchen. The kitchen is one of the worst places to start an argument. In the kitchen, there are knives, there are forks, there are weapons. When you're angry, any weapon next to you, anything that you find close to you, you can use it to attack the other person. I did one video one day which I said that if you have an argument with your spouse, which will happen time to time, there's one technique which I want to reshare with you if you're watching me for the first time. When your man or your woman is so angry, there's a technique called a pillow technique. Both of you use a pillow. Pillow is very safe. If you like romantic stuff and being romantic and having a pillow fight and playing around with your spouse, which I like and I enjoy so much, the pillow cannot hurt any person. When your partner is saying something, he or she holds the pillow. When you don't have the pillow, you keep quiet. It may sound like a very stupid technique, but you see, these are simple techniques that psychologists have learned on how to control two people who are arguing, especially spouses, because spouses who argue a lot have anger issues. If both of them are always shouting and screaming, they need to find a solution. One day, one of them will kill the other one. One day, one of the other one will make the other one feel so bad about the marriage and the relationship. And they will say, hey, I'm tired of this guy. To hell with this thing called monogamous. I can as well go and cheat. This guy is always annoyed with me. Everything annoys him left and right and center. But I have a calm guy that who listens to me. The man I'm chatting with in my inbox understands my pain and is always there for me. And this is a challenge that I'm giving to you as a man. If you have anger issues, remember from the beginning I said it affects so many things in your life, including your relationships. The most important thing is your relationship with the people close to you. If you have anger issues, you and your son cannot have a good time. You and your wife, you and with your girlfriend, you and some of your brothers and sisters will not have a good time together with them. So this pillow technique, when you are shouting and screaming or talking, you hold the pillow. When you finish, you pass the pillow to the other person, and then the other person begins talking, and then you keep quiet. Very simple technique that can help you a lot. Number 3, the other sign that you know you have anger issues is this. You always feel like something is wrong. Is something wrong? Maybe even this video is wrong. You're like watching and listening to me. You're like, who is this guy speaking? This guy is talking about anger issues. He has no idea how people can be annoying. You are always thinking something wrong is going to happen. And then you always like starting arguments. If you like starting arguments, you're blaming others. You blame the government. The government is always on the list. You blame from the government, the next people or the person you blame is your family. Then you can include your neighbors. Blaming others. If you find yourself always blaming, even when some people have done wrong to you, one of the things that you can do for yourself when you are very annoyed, practice not to say you have done this to me. This is why I'm reacting like this. It's better to say I am annoyed because I saw your comment. Not you have made me annoyed, because you are taking the blame to the other person. And these are some of the things I've done personally as Benjamin. If I'm annoyed, I will say, I, Benjamin, am annoyed because of A, B, C, D. I know my wife has annoyed me, but I will say, I am annoyed because of what you have done and what you have said. People always start arguments. They eventually begin to justify, you justify your anger. I'm annoyed because of A, B, C, D. So there's nothing you can tell me. And then you think or feel like everything is sensitive. I have moved from a stage of looking at things as too sensitive. Some of the people I've hosted in my past shows, people were telling me, wow, Benjamin, that topic is so sensitive. How can you host a homosexual or a lesbian or a man who is an atheist, a man who doesn't believe in God? That's a very sensitive topic to host. I'm going to unfollow you. I have always respected you, Benjamin, with what you do on social media. But when you begin doing this, then it means you are changing. You are following these people. I could understand them, their opinions and their principles and their values. And sometimes maybe they didn't know me. I'm just hosting people to create awareness about the things that people say that is too sensitive. Even when I post things about politics, some people were so deep into politics and believe that politicians are going to solve their problems. They always come and tell me, Benjamin, stick to what you normally talk about. Don't talk about politics. Politics is not for you. Politics is for other people. Because for them, anything small, anything they see or read easily annoys them. And for them, anything that is sensitive makes them annoyed. There's nothing sensitive in this world. If you become open-minded, there's nothing sensitive. I used to do the shows about sex, Wednesday Raw Sex Talk, before Facebook decided to tell me, hey, you can't do this show on your platform. Then I stopped the show. Sex is not sensitive. People are having sex left, right, and center. Our younger children, teenagers, are having sex. And they are making these worst mistakes that the parents have no control on what to do, even to talk about the sex to their own children. But because people believe that everything is sensitive, so they easily get annoyed. Something small just annoys them. I had a discussion on my TikTok shows about polygamous marriages and Muslims having more than one wife. And so many Muslims say that that's a very sensitive topic. You don't talk like that about polygamous marriages. And they really got annoyed. But because of seeing everything as very sensitive, and if you look at everything from the eye or the lens of sensitive, you will always get annoyed. You cannot have a debate. You can't discuss because you have a judgment. You know, according to you, what is right and what is wrong. And when the other person opens their mouth, if he supports Arsenal Football Club and you love Manchester United, you can't discuss anything about football because anything talked about Manchester United is very sensitive for you. The false sign that you are dealing with anger issues, you are always very unhappy. People who are very unhappy have anger issues. The longer you are unhappy with life, you are unhappy with your spouse, unhappy with your job, unhappy with so many things. Somebody asked me the other day, what keeps you smiling, Benjamin? What makes you happy? And I commented back. I said, I avoid stress as much as I can. Things that stress me, I put them away. And I am contented with what I already have. I used to think that if I will get this, if I'll have 1 million followers, I will be the happiest guy. If I'll have so many cars, if my mother will have the best house, I used to think that if I will have all these things, then I will finally be happy. Then I just realized, wow, Benjamin, what if you will achieve these things when you are 75 years old? That means by the time I'm 75 is when I'll be happy. Why can't I just be happy for now? Even with these viewers, you guys who are watching and listening to me, you're keeping me going. You're making me to go on talking about this topic. That if you are constantly not happy, prolonged unhappiness, it is very hard for you to control your anger. Anything and everything is going to annoy you. And with anger, anger comes from your mouth and your actions to the people around you. The reason why I'm making this video, honestly speaking, is that anger affects the people that we need to love, the people that we care for. That this is a man who has anger issues to his woman, not even social media people. This is a woman who has anger issues to her son, her child, the person that she needs to take care of him or her and guide him or her to be a better human being. But it's so sad that a parent can have anger issues to her own child. That a spouse can have anger towards the other spouse. And I want you to think deeply about it. So if you are constantly unhappy, obviously, people look for happiness in so many different ways. If you know that you're struggling with anger issues, you will look for happiness. But the process of you looking for happiness, you will look it in a very wrong way. Most people are struggling with anger. They will start drinking. Why not? Let me drink alcohol. Let me smoke marijuana, cigarettes, shisha, because these drugs temporarily make you feel good. Make you feel like, wow, I'm okay. My wife annoyed me. There are so many men who get annoyed by their wives. And the first thing they do is, let me go to a club. Let me go and drink and forget about what this woman was telling me. In that disco and in that environment, so many things happen. When you're too drunk, your judgment is impaired. You're not reasoning. You can have unprotected sex. You can drive recklessly. You can be arrested. You can lose your driving license. And these are some of the things that I've learned. If my wife really annoys me, the way to deal with that anger, and at that moment, I have to question myself, Benjamin, these things you're doing right now, are they helping you to deal with anger, or they are taking you to the wrong direction that you will regret in future? When you have anger issues, you look for temporary happiness. My challenge to you is this. When you're annoyed, what do you do to cool down? If you do things that are affecting your life, if you're a man and then you go to a disco to go drinking so that you can forget what your wife has put you through, what's going to happen in the disco? What's happening with your wife that you left in the house? Who is she talking with? What is she thinking about you? Don't you think there are men she's chatting with, spending time and getting closer and closer as you're running away from her, thinking that you're solving this anger and that you have between you and her? The last 3 points that I want to share with you about anger. One of the other things that you are really struggling with anger is, of course, shallow breathing. I had to take a time to breathe. I mentioned something about breathing and breathing abnormally. When you are annoyed, you actually lose your breath. If you study about how anger operates, anger temporarily stops blood flowing to your brain. When you're really annoyed, the blood that flows to your brain and makes your brain to think stops temporarily. That's why when you're annoyed and you have a knife or a gun, you can do anything. Any man with a gun or a knife and is annoyed can do anything at that time. At that time, you're not thinking. And when you hear people who are locked in maximum prisons where they don't have social media, I like joking and saying, if you really don't control your anger, you will find yourself in jail. If you go to jail, you will never see these kind of videos. You'll not have a phone and you'll not have internet. It's impossible. How can you be in jail and you have a phone and you're listening to me? Who's going to give you the phone? Who's going to give you the internet? All the freedoms are taken away from you. So that when you have anger issues and you don't control your breathing technique. For me, if I'm annoyed, I will breathe in, breathe out. Psychologists say you can count 1 to 10 before you do or say anything. You count it in your heart, 1, 2, 3, up to 10 before you say anything. This technique works very well for people who are going to overreact and do very bad things. If you are a woman and you're watching me and you have anger issues, I want to remind you that there's a very small chance left for you to do a very bad thing that you will regret for the rest of your life. It's only one opportunity left because anger keeps building. The way I started this video, if you're watching me from the beginning up to now, anger does not stop. You have to stop it. If you don't control it, it keeps on piling. If you like watching news, what happened recently in Sri Lanka and even in the US last year, the citizens decided to storm the residence of their presidents, where they stay, where they sleep. They didn't care about the bullets or the police killing them. That's how people are very angry with so many things, the government and themselves and their lives. If this anger is not checked, people can do anything, that their life does not matter. When somebody is angry, he does not think about his life at that time. All he thinks is how to deal with that situation at that time. Anger kills. So if you cannot control your breathing techniques when you're very annoyed, you will do so many bad things. And my message to you is this: when you're annoyed, try to breathe in and breathe out. I have done it before. There's one specific time I had a girlfriend, who is my ex-girlfriend, annoyed me. I found messages in her phone. And I was very annoyed. But I didn't know what to do at that time. But I started breathing very hard. And through the process of breathing in and out, everything I was planning to do to her, to the phone, at that time, I found myself walking away. So when I look back, now that I've learned that, wow, that breathing helped me that time, I was thinking of holding her and pushing her towards the road, because I knew she was going to fall under her back, the back of the head. Like hold her like this and push her with a lot of force. And you know that is concussion. If you hit your head down on a concrete floor, chances of surviving are very low. She could have died. I don't think I could be doing this live video. She could have died. Just from the messages I saw on the phone and how I was very annoyed and the way I was holding her and thinking of just pushing her down, then I stopped after breathing in and out. I don't think she could be alive. The last 2 points that I want to share with you are this. And this is why I want you to pay attention deeply. So many people have anger issues because of their past. What happened to your past? There are so many bad things that have happened to you. There are very many bad things that have happened in your family. that are actually affecting you, my brother or my sister. Recently, I posted something on my Facebook saying, we all have our past and a dark past. The richest people, the famous people that you think are lucky, they have their dark past. Things that they regret, things that happened to them or happened to their family, and they really feel bad about them. And they are very annoyed about that. When you listen to the stories about the Black Americans in the US and how they speak, how they feel about other people and other races, and then you study their history, then you can see how this anger has been building for so many centuries. That these are people who are really annoyed from generation to generation to generation, that anything, even a police just stopping him and asking him, why are you walking at this time? The first thing he's thinking of is either running away or begin fighting with the police. Because this anger has been piling from the past. And this is the worst thing that is happening and affecting so many people. Your past can make you feel frustrated. Your past will finally make you to get more angry. You will hate the government because of your tribe. If your government or your political leaders, if your president is not from your tribe or from your community or from your race, you'll always be annoyed because you feel left out. You feel like those people, because of their tribe and their race, their life is better than mine. I am in this country, I'm in Saudi Arabia, I am in the Middle East. I left my children, I'm abroad, I'm in long distance relationship. I am suffering because of so many people, including these people who are politicians from specific tribe or specific race. This is why I'm suffering. So anything and everyone annoys you. And then you can imagine you're just a young, beautiful woman, an innocent young man, trying to remove this past in your family. But the process is too long. I make those funny videos on TikTok that you go abroad, you think that if you move to another country, you come from a poor family, you go to another country, you think that, oh, if I go there, if I go to America or Saudi Arabia or Australia or New Zealand, things are going to be better. My family is going to move away from poverty within a few weeks or a few months, and things will be okay, we'll be happy. Then you realize, wow, 20 years, the same life in your family is still going on. Nothing is changing. How can't you be annoyed? And that's why politics in my continent, in Africa, politics are very emotive. Politics is about death and life. That even your own brother, even a spouse, supporting another candidate that you don't like is a big issue. It's a big problem because this anger is too much. You find a husband supporting candidate A wife is supporting candidate B, but they cannot reason. They cannot stay peacefully because of that anger of what happened in the past, and it is ongoing. This anger is not stopping. People are suffering. Life is not changing. And that's why it becomes more difficult to deal with anger. If you don't, if you knew me more than 10 years ago, when I was so deep into politics, after graduating, I had so much anger with specific tribes from my country. Because I felt that because of their tribe and my tribe, it is the reason why my family is suffering. So every Facebook post, my comments, my replies were always full of bitterness. If I talked with anyone from a specific tribe, I knew right from the word go, I hate these people. That's how the past can affect you. But this is anger that is still ongoing. It is not stopping. So if you hate people, specific people, because of their tribe, If you hate someone because of the political candidate they are supporting, you don't like that candidate, then you also don't like her because of who they are supporting, how will you deal with anger? This anger is going to stay here forever. And I'm using politics because with politics, politics and religion are one of the most emotive areas of life. If you can handle a debate in politics and in religion without getting annoyed, salute to you. If you can sit down and discuss with your opponent from a different religion and a different political party, you have made long and bigger steps in life. And this is my challenge that I want to give to you. I know there are younger people, and by younger I mean they are very young, under the age of 30. I speak passionately about this specific age. Under the age of 30, when you have just completed high school or college, you have so many hopes for your life to be better. You're looking at a bright future, to have a job, to get married, to have a child, to live in a nice apartment, to have electricity, internet, to have water and gas, which so many people have been struggling with, including your parents, for so many years. They have been fighting to get all these things, but they didn't get them. And this is why even you, under the age of 30, when you have all this anger because of politics, because of so-and-so supporting so-and-so, I want to remind you, as you get older, when I was in my 20s after college, I thought I was going to get a job. I thought I was going to get married, have a car, have a house, have every beautiful things a young man or a young woman wants in life. Things were not like that. I spent 1 year looking for a job, walking, dropping my envelopes to different schools because I was graduated like a high school teacher. Went to more than 60 schools, dropping my CV. No school contacted me for an interview. It took 9 months until I got the first phone call from one school. And they called me and they say, "Hey, Benjamin, we saw your CV. And in this school, the teacher who has been teaching has taken a maternity leave for the next 4 months. Are you available to come and work and take this position?" Those were so many years ago in my country. Those same problems are still there up to now when I'm making this video. So a young man will be very fresh from college, thinking that after graduating, my life is going to be smooth, I'm going to have a job, I'm going to have a good life. And then there's this social media which has increased anger amongst people. That when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you see is people are living a good life. Benjamin is doing well. Benjamin is playing golf. He's posting pictures. He's driving a car in a Lexus. That's what you see in social media. So if you are waking up in the morning and then you have your parents asking you or telling you or feeling bad that you are jobless, staying at home, you are not working, you're just eating, watching TV and staying here on Facebook, on internet all the time, they have anger towards you as an innocent young man or woman. Then they begin blaming you. Then you take the anger to other people. You bring it to social media, to other people around you. So one of the worst things that is making people to have anger is what is going on around us, in the world, in our families, and in our governments. The last thing that I want to finish in this talk today, you see, if this anger keeps on growing, eventually it will come and stay in your heart, in your body. So any man or woman who has been watching me and you are very bitter, and I mean bitter, bitter, this anger is flowing in your blood. It's going to stay there for a long time. There are people who have now reached the stage of not just hating people, hating the government and their family, they begin now hating themselves. So you just hate yourself. I don't even like myself. I'm not beautiful enough. I made a mistake. I became a mother. Then this man abandoned me. I think I'm a failure. I'm a single mother of all the people. I'm sick. I'm living with HIV. I'm a failure to the society and to my family. I didn't perform well in school. I dropped out of school. There was no money for me to continue my studies. That's why I'm doing this job. I'm in this country. I can't progress in life. I am so bitter about myself. And then you want people to love you. Because when you're so bitter, you are expecting people to understand your pain. You just wish that people in social media could know that you're struggling. You're really going through a lot. But social media, as I always say over and over, people don't give a damn. All of us, we are also suffering. You're not the only one who is suffering. People don't really care about your life and how you're going through a lot. So this bitterness, you want people to love you, they don't love you. You want to post a picture, people don't like the picture. You make a video, you want it to trend, it doesn't trend. So you're getting nothing that you're looking for. And then you can imagine how this bitterness continues. And then finally, because now you're hating yourself, you can do so many bad things. There are people who are planning to commit suicide. There's a young man planning to commit suicide before the end of the year. There's one man in your family planning to commit suicide before the end of the year. The anger is too much for him. His life has not been okay for so many years, for long. And I want to finish this video. Please, if you have anger issues, look for help. It's a cry for help, that you need to be helped. Once you sort anger in your life, the way you treat yourself and other people will change completely. If you don't address anger as a man in your life, it will go to your children. It will go to your wife. It will go to your siblings or your parents. And you have seen it in your family that your father was a bitter man. Your mother was always a bitter woman. And it has come to you. So now you have an opportunity to hear and listen to this voice and watch this video to say, hey, I think I need to do something about my anger. If I'm not careful, this thing is going to affect the people around me. I am a testimony of a young man who has decided to deal with anger. All the techniques which I've shared with you in this video, I practice them and I'm not going to stop them. I host the Meet and Mingle show for single people all over the world, and some of you see the guests who come live on camera. People that I don't know, people from different countries, people with different levels of education compared to me. People who cannot express themselves in public, on camera, or even using language. But I just sit there, keep on smiling, cracking jokes, 2 hours, non-stop. Keep the show going on. That's extreme level of patience. And sometimes I want to give up. Sometimes I'm like, Benjamin, what are you doing? You have nothing else to do? But you see, this is a challenge to me as a human being. That if I can be able to talk to these people and the way they do these things to me in public or in my inbox, but I'm able to control those emotions at that time, it's a good thing for me. It's something to admire. It's something that my follower can say, wow, that guy is doing his best. If I was the one, I don't think I could do that. It's something that I'm so proud of myself, that I wish that you as a follower or as a viewer could learn and emulate. You don't have to be angry all the time. Anger doesn't pay. If anger paid, we could get everything we wanted. If we were very angry with our politicians and the governments, and we use that anger to really get them out of the office and get serious people, it could have worked, but it doesn't work like that. Even the people who are very annoyed with stupid leaders, they are very few. And even when they say they are annoyed, people still attack them. People don't want to support them. That's the nature of the society. Anger kills. And I want you to put down there on the comments as my parting shot. Please type there on the comments, anger kills. If you're watching me, I'm giving you 1 minute. Please find 1 minute, just 1 minute. Type there on the comments, anger kills. Anger will kill you one day. If it doesn't kill you, it will kill your children. If it doesn't kill your children, it will kill your spouse. If it doesn't kill your spouse, it will kill your job. It will kill your career. Anger will kill your talent. Anger will kill all the dreams you had. Anger will kill every little things that you're planning to do in your life if you don't check it. Anger kills. And thank you for watching this video. For all of you who have been here since I began up to now, thank you so much. Those who are just joining, please find time and watch this video when you're free. I know maybe you're working or you just came and saw me live right now. During your free time, I want to encourage you to just watch and hopefully you will be able to deal with your anger. That's my prayer. That's my prayer. People don't want people who are angry. It's so hard to just being. You can imagine if you're a woman and you are in a relationship with a man with anger, there's no way you will be happy. It's hard. Anger is the opposite of happiness. That's why if you stay with somebody who has anger, your friend is always angry, it's very hard to do so many things with him. Even traveling, taking a road trip, something to do for fun, your friend is always annoyed, you can't take those trips. You want to start a business, your friend is always angry, or your fellow businessman or businesswoman is always angry, the business will not go anywhere. Anger kills. It kills everything and anything. End of this video. Thank you so much. You need help. And that help is in this video. Watch this video again during your free time. You can pause. You can have a pen or a paper like I do sometimes. Watch the video. Write down the points you're listening to what I'm saying and then put them into practice. I guarantee you, your life will change. And for me, Benjamin, I wish you nothing but the best. Enjoy the rest of your day, your afternoon, your morning, or your evening. Thank you for your time. Anger kills. And share this video. Please, please, please do that for me. If you have a family member everyone has one family member who is always struggling with anger. Share the video to her. Share the video to him. Watch that guy speaking. That's the way you're passing this message to them, because they can die. And I don't want your brother or your sister to die because they couldn't control their anger. I don't want you to hear that sad news. Share to them. Thank you. God bless. And I will see you in the next live video. God bless. And I love you. Thank you.